It's locked, all right. I should find another...
Alright, have fun, doggo. Don't enslave too many
way to get into
people.
the neighborhood.
Have good acid trip out in the desert. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to go around. Find a passage to get around. Fuck you.
I think this passage could lead me close to Aloysius Dawson's mansion.
Passage would that be? This area back here?
Your prey is mine now!
Somebody wants the tentacles, apparently.
You're bleeding!
No, you. No, you, sir. Ah. What's causing that noise? It's like a really big cockroach. This place full of rad roaches. Those. Oh, it's full of opium. That makes me feel a little better. Hope it doesn't go anywhere that direction, so I'll down here. Of course. Gonna beef with Ascalon, boy? At least you have shoes on, unlike the other guy. Ow. How'd that one hit me? Not even fair. Nom 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 nom.
Foolish echo.
Who are you?
You shall learn to respect.
Ow. Rude.
Yup.
You like my new steak, sucker? Voice of the Volcads. Violence of the Volcads. I guess that's what they call the big guys. Hey, Scotch Bunny. How you doing, man? Go. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to go that way, which means I'm gonna go explore over here first. That's how you RPG. Except there's nothing here. Oh well. You just got over the New Year's hangover? Yeah, that sounds about right. New Year's hangovers are epic enough that it takes a couple days.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Oh, it looks like she's down here somewhere too. Went through a lot of bottles for your New Year's party? Yep, that sounds about right as well. Not a New Year's party if not a lot of people drunk. Here, no. Check for them sweet loots. You know what I'm saying? Six full bottles? Wow, how many people were there? The one. Yeah, did a thing. 6 people, 6 bottles. Well, there you go. Bottles of what, though, Scott? Was it scotch? That would have been a little on the nose, I think. Hi. Have a present. What? shotgun as well. Ow. That's what I think of your ambush. Rude. Jaeger, gin, a blue mixer, and something I can't tell what it is. I'll tell you right now, that one you don't know what it is, that's probably the one that really hammered people the worst. I'll bet ya. Get up top here somehow? Really? Okay. Can't warp up top. Does one theoretically get up there? Warp up through that? No. Huh. About now. Hey, there we go. Oh, the right trail.
Are you from Ascalon? I don't care!
How long are you gonna keep me locked in here?
Not much longer.
Disgusting! Vampires are only Vampyr white!
It's into diary.
How long are you gonna keep me locked in here?
About that long.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reid. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
He does.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. And be careful. Until we meet again.
Alright, back to the main quest. Back to the old man's mansion. Play? You're right, AJ. Like, yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. I'll just leave her to fend for herself from here. Sure, she'll be okay. And she's not gonna get eaten by 5 other vampires on the way out.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Vampyr Doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
No, I can tell him that.
I'm here on my own, sir. I have no official appointment other than my desire to save lives.
Then we have the same objective, sir. The difference is, to catch my suspects, I use a magnifying glass and handcuffs instead of a microscope.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange which requires police attention?
Well, that guy's dead, so there's no point in mentioning that.
I'd like to report a name, Inspector. Jeffrey McCullum. I'm afraid he's some sort of vigilante, trying to recruit an army of angry citizens.
Then I'll write the name down and transmit this intelligence to the appropriate office. Thank you, sir.
Take that, McCullum.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions.
I'll probably get buried
Especially
anyway.
There's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
Be rough.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Do you work
Says
alone?
you.
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
We have very big rats leaving bodies with weird teeth marks everywhere. Totally not vampires, though.
What about the situation in the East End?
I mean, what?
Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Ruth. How that feeling, buddy?
Do you need medical attention, Inspector?
I'm fine, thank you, Dr. Reid.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
Kind of.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I currently have a few missing persons cases. Mr. Tadao Kimura and Miss Louise Teasdale. I'm afraid they may have been abducted by my mysterious maniac.
Or that group of big rats, yes.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No.
I do.
I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
Okay, she's currently down there being eaten by giant rats.
Tell me about Mr. Kimura.
Mr. Kimura is a businessman who's been missing for a few days. He didn't go home, didn't go to work, didn't go back to his family.
Where was he last seen?
Mr. Kimura was last seen at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. I followed a possible lead in the West End, but I found nothing.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
I'm sure. Ooh, trash. Yeah, the synth in the soundtrack actually sounds pretty cool, but it's also a little surprising. Wait a minute. Keep out. This is usually a hideout. Is this a safe house? It is. Nice. Nice. Fine. There we go. Find some loot. It's the stash box. Okay, can I craft... There's never enough opium when you need it, you know what I'm saying? Already done that. That. Is this? No. Hey, there's some of that opium I needed. Just can't get enough of that opium, man. Need another hit. Sweet, sweet poppies. Okay. Gonna be over here? How's the way in? This? Oh. Man, we got violin and synth going together. It's weird. Maybe I need to go underneath. Why does your mansion not have a front door? Weird. Yeah, the soundtrack for this game is pretty great, AJ. I'm actually about almost 20 hours in right now, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline needs this total conversion mod? I disagree. I think that game is great the way it is. What that game needs is a sequel. That's what that game needs. Although this game is almost like a sequel to it. It's not actually Vampire the Masquerade, but it's real similar. I am of lost knowledge.
Jonathan Reid. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
But did the cards tell you what the hell the title of Primate actually means? Because I have no idea. Alright, have a good night, Scotch Bunny.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
These aren't tarot cards. What the fuck? 150, that's expensive.
Perhaps later.
I don't have that shit.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then.
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Could you do me a favor, Usher? Could you please stop stroking yourself under the table while we're talking? That would be great.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Maybe I should have him read the cards for me. Expensive,
Tell me
but
about yourself.
it would be
What do you do here,
important.
besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Oh, I'm gonna read that shit. Yeah, especially with that look he's giving while he's doing it. That is... Don't give me that intense stare into my eyes while you're doing that under the table. Oh,
How
man.
long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Do you require medical attention?
I'm fine, thank you, Jonathan.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here? Can you read the cards for me?
Put the money on the table then, Jonathan, and open your mind.
Fine.
Here is the money.
The Joker. A woman bent to obey and debase herself. A cruel gaze in the dark. A monster laughing at you.
Get information about Karina. What? Okay. How do I know it's her? think I've even met her. So is that what happens? I pay you and you give me a hint about a random person? That could get expensive.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right. Let me hear it.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
How do you... Is it...
A vampire...
Yes, I already know about that.
Goodbye, sir.
Whoops.
I read...
Didn't mean to say goodbye yet.
Good evening.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Oh, there you go. Now I'll go.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. The Fool and the Empress.
What do you mean,
Again.
my kind?
What are the cards trying to tell us?
What do you mean, you people? Rude.